Welcome to Tuesday Talks, your educational podcast helping parents become strong advocates for their kids and teachers to make big impacts in the classroom. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Tuesday Talks. I am Dr. Tiffany, and we are going to dive into one of my favorite topics, winter break family fun. Tuesday Talks is all about education. Education has its serious points, and it also has its fun moments too, because education happens outside of school. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, that magical stretch of time where school schedules slow down, kids are home, and every parent, at least the parents that I know, start whispering to themselves, what am I going to do with these kids for the next 2 weeks? And maybe panic sets in. Maybe you are really chill about it. But winter break can be beautiful, but it can also be chaotic. So today I'm going to share some of my family's favorite holiday traditions, ways to keep the kids engaged no matter their age without losing your mind as the parent, and how to make the memories without putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. And I'm also going to have a very special guest join us later to share their own family traditions and activity tips. So be sure to stick around for that. So I wanted to start off by talking about the stress of making memories. So many social media outlets out there are all setting the bar really high. I watch those reels and I think to myself, I really want to do that, but the time, the prep, what if things go wrong and there's a 17-step winter craft that I'm supposed to do with my kid, and I started to feel overwhelmed, and either I don't do it or I just do my version of it, which is good enough. But I used to feel so much pressure to make every moment really magical, especially when my son was really little. And then I realized that no matter their age, whether they're toddlers or teenagers, kids remember the feeling, not the perfection. They remember the warmth, the togetherness, the laughter. So if you burn the cookies, that's the memory. If the gingerbread house collapsed, like it usually does, that is the memory. And if that dang elf on the shelf stays in the same place for 3 days, that is also the memory. And guess what? All of it is still special. So, we are going to talk about all the fun ways to make the most of winter break, Christmas break, or whatever your family celebrates. And remember, as we talk through all of these things, it's the feeling that kids remember. So I want to start off with just a quick little rundown of what me and my family do for the holidays. I call it the Williams Household Christmas Starter Pack, also known as the things I do every year, but I pretend that I just made them up and we make them new every year. So some of the things that I do with my son, we decorate the Christmas tree, we put up our pre-lit Christmas tree, and we always turn on the Motown Christmas classics. We do it every year. It's a whole vibe. He enjoys it. I make some hot apple cider, maybe some hot chocolate for him. We decorate the tree, we dance, we sing. Uriah tends to put all the ornaments in one kind of centralized location, but that's his artistic expression. And over the weeks, the following weeks after getting the tree up, I might move a little ball and spread out his decorations a little bit more. Our Santa does not like sugar cookies. Our Santa likes Rice Krispie treats, if you know what I mean. So we don't do cookies, we don't do brownies. We do Rice Krispie treats. I make them and then we decorate them with some icing, sprinkles, marshmallows, all the things. Santa is happy, Uriah is happy, everything's great. We also try our hand at the gingerbread houses, and we have bought those pre-made kits. I'm sure you've seen them at the store before. I found those gingerbread houses not to be particularly tasteful. Usually we eat the candy off of it, but the gingerbread itself, we usually just toss in the trash. So I have learned Trader Joe's cinnamon sugar graham crackers make the best gingerbread houses because the gingerbread tastes really good and you want to eat the whole house, not just pick off all the candy from it. And if it falls apart, maybe that just means a disaster happened and we just roll with it. We take the pictures, we get icing all over the place, and that's the memory. And then one of the last things that we typically do depends on if we're at home for the holiday or if we're traveling. We have an indoor snowball fight. You get these plush snowballs. I've seen them at TJ Maxx, Marshalls. You can find them on Amazon. We either pile them up in the middle of the living room floor and then have a countdown where everybody runs to the middle, grabs their snowballs, backs up, and you just start throwing them at each other. Or I've given each person their own little pillowcase, filled it up with equal amounts of snowballs for everyone. And I have to set a timer because while it sounds easy, you will be exhausted from all the laughing, the running, the ducking, the dodging, all the things. So the indoor snowball fight is always a big hit. So those are just a few things that my family does for the holidays. But to give a bit more festive insight, I have invited a very special guest to join us, someone who knows all about creating meaningful, low stress holiday memories. And I want to welcome Hannah Werner. Welcome, Hannah.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, so Hannah is a fellow speech language pathologist, a longtime friend of mine, and also a mother of four from the St. Louis area. So thank you so much for taking time out to join me today for a festive Tuesday Talks.
I'm so excited to talk about one of my favorite topics. So let's do
Awesome.
it.
So, what is one of your family traditions that you grew up that you still carry on today with your kids?
Yeah. So this is something it's happening currently. It's all hands on deck, and it is the snow village that was my grandma's. So she had, those Department 56 Snow Village. I don't know. I only know the brand because it's everywhere. It's all over our basement. But they're these little ceramic, cute, tiny little houses. They have little people. They're decorating. We've got like a whole bin full of just trees, just evergreen trees with snow on them. I mean, there's a lot going on in the snow village. So many details, so many activities. It's a lot. And so it was my grandma's. She collected for like 30 years, just one little house a year from friends and family. And I always would drive down when I was in college and I would help her put it up. When we were kids, we would help her put it up. But I was very dedicated to the snow village. And so whenever she downsized, I got her snow village, which is so special.
Love it.
Yeah. So we put up the snow village. It's like in every room of the house, there's some element. We have the vacation area, we've got the downtown area, and it's a big ordeal. It's all hands on deck, and my kids look forward to it, and we add, like, a little house every year now at Christmas.
I love it. Do your kids know where that tradition started? Have you shared that story with them about your grandma?
Yes, yes, they know, and they want me to we gotta take pictures for grandma, we gotta let her know what we're up to, we need her advice on city planning, because you learn a lot. You're like, "We need the gas station to be near the downtown area, we have to have a phone booth because you gotta make a call when you get off the train or, when you're filling up maybe." So there's lots of, like, fun little details that go into thinking about how to place the snow village year after year.
I love that, and I love that your kids know where that tradition started. So, like anybody listening, if you have this family tradition that was happening when you were younger and now you're carrying it over to your kids, bring that part of the memory into the experience, right? Let them know this is what I did when I was little. Have even if the family member is still living, have them share the memories that they had. And I think that makes a special connection. And hopefully the tradition continues. It continues. I love that.
And you learn something too about taking care of your stuff because Grandma Judy, she was very deliberate about how things were packaged. And we have things that are like 40 years old and are still just in pristine condition. And the kids are so careful with it, so careful to put it away. And yeah, there's a little lesson baked in there too about taking care of your things and the value of valuing your stuff.
I love that. I love that. So how do you balance making the fun memories with not overscheduling? Because I just have the one kid and you
Yeah.
have four kids. So how do you not get overscheduled during the break?
Yeah, I think that is so hard, and everyone should have a friend like Tiffany who asks you these questions heading into the holidays. So we have, those advent calendars, they've kind of evolved, right? They're just countdowns. So we have an advent calendar that is like they're little boxes where I put notes in, things to do. And the first year I did that, it was so overwhelming. It was like every day, like, we've got to watch a movie. We've got to.
The lot.
Yeah, a lot, and it seems like it's just a small thing, but it is too much. It easily becomes too much just having one outing a day or one little thing to do a day in the midst of all the other things to do. So what I've started doing is I put in addition to just things we would already do, like things that my kids expect,
Yeah.
making cookies or making a card for a family member, having hot chocolate, watching a Christmas movie, I'll sprinkle those things in there, but I like to put little kindness challenges in there. So, like a thing to do at school that day or to say to a friend, or I mentioned making a card, like making something for somebody, doing a sibling's chore. Those little things are really fun and they're simple. And then you have something to talk about at the end of the day where they report back, like, how did they do on their kindness challenge?
I love that, the kindness challenge. I might
Mhm.
steal that idea. That is really cool. I've
Yeah.
done the advent calendar too, and usually it'll be like a little book or something in each one because Uriah loves all the Marvel characters, so I
Yeah.
bought one there with all the little books inside. But I love filling those boxes with your own things and making some of them be the kindness challenge. And I'm sure no surprise, like the world needs more kindness right now. So to instill that in your kids to go out and do that, that's awesome. I love it.
And it feels good. It's something that gratitude is a muscle that is built over time and that you start to realize as you are also giving to others. And so I think like at this time of year where we want our kids to be gift givers and we want them to be generous, we want them to be kind. I think that giving them these little challenges can help to make them appreciate others whenever they're giving back to them. So it's hard, I think, this time of year to do that intentionally because you don't want to make your kids like say, I don't know, say thank you or be grateful. You don't want to be like twisting their arm to, I don't know, be grateful to their relative for giving them a gift that they weren't exactly excited about. You want them to just do it
Right.
and so little things, little challenges that are built around fun moments help them to notice kindness, I think, in others, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I love that so much because it gives them something to look forward to during the school day. If the little slip said, do something kind for a friend or,
Yeah.
create a card and give it to a teacher or something like that, it gives them something to look forward to. And I'm sure anybody who's seen their kid walk into school with a sense of pride and this like
Mhm.
they know that they're about to surprise a friend or a teacher with
Yeah.
something. They are so happy and they are like excited to get to school that day and looking forward to the reaction from the person that they're giving it to as well. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
What is a winter activity that your kids love that really surprised you? Maybe you were thinking this might go over well, it might not, but they
Mhm.
absolutely loved it and that really surprised you.
Yeah. I think a couple things. So one is sledding, which sounds like it shouldn't surprise me, but they really start complaining a lot when we're out in the cold, and so if we're just around our house playing outside, it's like a 10-minute thing. But it takes 45 minutes to get everybody dressed. You go outside, and then 10 minutes later, they all come inside wet and they're cold. But if we make it an outing and we are going somewhere to sled and we're with friends and they're a little bit busier and it's more goal oriented, like we're sledding, they can go for hours. So that has surprised me because I think I was resistant over the years to really make an outing out of a snow activity. Are we gonna drive somewhere and then just drive back? Um, but no, they really have enjoyed sledding. Another thing that we started doing last year is and this was one of the kindness challenges, we started making, like, little homeless care kits, I guess. So, have you ever seen that before? You just fill a Ziploc bag with, like, little like, toothpaste and toothbrush and whatever,
Yeah.
stuff from a hotel, like the little items. So we did that, and we would just have it in our car, and we kind of pass it out, but making that and thinking about what they wanted to put in it was really delightful, and then the joy that they would get and just, like, passing it out the window or when we're out shopping, that was something that they look forward to, and they're asking to do it again. So, uh, yeah.
A nice balance of fun and, that give back, that sense of giving as well. That's a great balance to have too. I know for myself, going to see the Christmas lights, like there are some houses in neighborhoods that have the music themed
Yeah.
lights, and it's like a whole spectacle. I kind of thought Uriah would go and see the whole, exhibit like one time and be ready to go, but he wanted to stay for the entire production. Like, he wanted to watch it again and again, and that really surprised me because it's cold outside, and
Yeah.
anybody who's had their kids outside in the cold know that when they're ready to go and it's cold, the rest of the time can be kinda miserable. So, I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised that he was ready to stay and watch it over and over again, and really similar to you, the kinda give back bags, having, like, socks, hand warmers, the, like, little hot hand packets to just put in your pockets to keep your hands warm.
Yes. Yeah.
We've given that out before, so if anybody listening or watching has not done that before, I think that would be a really great family activity to put those little bags together. It doesn't have to be super extravagant. It could be plastic bag, sandwich bag size or freezer bag size, depending on, how many you're giving out, what your budget is. But I love that sense of helping Uriah feel comfortable handing those out to people as we're at stoplights or maybe walking around downtown. But that sense of giving, like you mentioned, really, I could see it on his face as we were doing it, and he wanted to do it more and more. That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
It's a reciprocal thing too. Like I was saying, whenever you build this muscle of being like kind and giving and noticing others, noticing what they have or what they don't have, it has this reciprocal kind of impact on their own gratitude for what they have or what they receive. So I think I'm always curious about how to do that better, like how to help my kids notice people and what they might want or what they might need or whatever. It has this reciprocal impact of gratitude for what they have and what they get.
Yeah, I love that so much. And that kind of helps me think about how to navigate the whole giving and receiving of gifts. Like, you hit on this a little bit ago when you said sometimes they get something that they might not particularly like, and you
Mhm.
don't want to have to twist their arm and shoot them a look from across the room. You better say thank you. You better show gratitude. So, what are some ways that you kind of help your kids navigate that whole situation of ripping open the gifts and they're super excited about something, they rip open something else, and then and then toss it to the side? How do you go about kinda navigating those types of situations?
Yeah. I think there's like it's a three-prong approach. It's like you've got this one, which we've talked about, where you're building this muscle of noticing others and being giving and building that muscle, like noticing the effort that you put in for others or what others might have or need. That helps with perspective taking. And then I think also modeling it yourself. And then finally, just building a routine. Like my kids, they just know they're just going to say thank you. There's no question that they're going to say thank you. And it could mean nothing to them, honestly. You hope over time it means something to them,
Right.
but they know they're going to open a gift. They're going to make eye contact with someone. They're going to say thank you. And it's just because we have told them over time that this is what you do. This is what you do in a social situation. And there's no question that's what you're gonna do when you open a gift. It's like a reflex then.
Yeah, I love that so much, and you mentioned modeling that whole experience for them. We talked about that a lot on Tuesday Talks about many different topics, how modeling, how to engage, well, how to do a reaction, how to engage with someone, and it's really important that parents really think about that as they're opening gifts, as they talk about how, they want their kids to respond when opening gifts as well, modeling it for them, giving them the language, sometimes giving them just a simple script like you just mentioned. You're going to make eye contact with the person who gave it to you. You're going to say thank you. Maybe you give the person a hug, whatever is the norm for your family. I think it's important to model and talk through with your kids because you want them to build that muscle, that
Yeah,
gratitude muscle, like you said. And that's not something that just they wake up one day and magically just have. It's something that is developed over time. And in the season of giving and family and receiving, I think it's important time to build up that muscle as well.
yeah, I agree, and I think that this is as a speech pathologist, the way that I have learned to approach children when I'm trying to model or teach them something where you try to externalize your thoughts. You're like, "Oh, I'm thinking about how much time grandma put into this, and it just really blesses me. It's so sweet when I think about the effort that she put into making this for me or finding this for me. But yeah, really externalizing your thoughts builds their own thought life. It's something that I don't think I would be as aware of if I weren't in SLP.
Yeah, I think that does give us a different perspective as well, and I do that a lot with Uriah, just
Yeah.
reminding him, kids sometimes things just appear and they're not really connected to how that object, that item, that gift got to be in their hands. So I talk about that with him as well. This was a decision that somebody made that, this cost money. It took them time to put it, wrap it up, put it in a gift bag, get it to you. So I want him to be sure that he always understands what all had to take place to lead up to the moment of him receiving some so that
Mhm.
he understands that this wasn't just on a whim that it just happened, but it was connected to a series of thoughts and actions that a person took for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I really like that. I like thinking through all of those moments, and I think when you include your kids in creating magical moments, it helps to also build that perspective taking, and this is such a good time for that. I think I really need my kids' help these days.
Yeah.
Like, this snow village is not going to make itself. It's not gonna
Right.
build itself. But they really enjoy partaking in the moment making. And
Mm.
again, it's that it does have a reciprocal impact on that gratitude muscle when they're more involved in making the moments and giving the gifts, then they're understanding all the effort that goes into it whenever, it's their parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles.
Yeah. And I think it's important too. So I feel like someone listening or watching might be thinking, well, my kid doesn't want to engage in any of these types of activities. They just want to play games, they want to watch YouTube. They just kind of want to be to themselves. Maybe they're in that teenage stage where they just want to be in their room. And then I think that's a great time to invite them into the tradition planning,
Yeah.
asking them, like, what would you like to do? Here are some options. Choose one. If you don't like any of these, then think of something else that we can do as a family. Maybe you take that time to engage in something that they are interested in. I know I've played Roblox a few times with my kid grudgingly because it's just not my jam.
Yeah.
But maybe you take that time to step into their world, and that can become part of your winter break activity or tradition as well, where you kind of take a moment to step into their world, maybe learn a little bit about what keeps them engulfed in that world as well. But you're having that moment to build that connection too. So it could be something, you know, that involves an activity and all the different components. It could just be, I call it shoulder to shoulder time, where you're just sitting shoulder to shoulder on the couch or on the floor and
Yeah.
engaging in their world as well.
Yeah, I love that. I think that is so important to bring them in and to also allow them to kind of be the leader in that moment. Like, "What? I don't get to decide what's fun every time. What's fun? Tell me, let's do it."
Right. I love that. Speaking of fun, is there a specific game or activity that always brings a lot of laughter at your house during
Yeah.
winter break?
We are a big game family, and I married into a game family. So, my family, personally, we grew up playing, like, one kind of a game, and then otherwise, we're just running around, we're talking, whatever, we're having fun. But
Yeah.
my husband's family, they love to play all kinds of games. They're all bringing board games, they're all bringing card games, they're all just ready, they're down to play. And that has been really fun. It's been really fun to join that family, and a couple favorites are a game called Swoop. It's a card game, yeah, and you can play with a huge table of people, and I think that's what makes it so fun. Like, you can engage with a giant group of people, and everybody is invested in having fun. So you should look up this card game called Swoop. It's a ton of fun. Another one is called Happy Salmon. That's another one where you can play with a large group of people. It's really loud and crazy. Little kids can play, big kids can play, adults can play, and everybody is having a moment of absolute chaos. It involves, like, having to do a certain motion and say a certain sound and make eye contact with somebody else who has that same card that is making you do this motion or sound, but it just it, like, livens the room up. Everybody's having a good time. It's so fun.
I love that. Those are awesome. I haven't heard of either of those, but I'm gonna check them out for sure. That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of fun. I love a game that brings a lot of people together. And if you don't have a large group that's gathering, something that we do, there's a game, I've seen it at like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, but you could also make it yourself. You take like an empty Kleenex box and you could put ping pong balls inside of the little opening, and then you attach a ribbon or something to have it go around your waist. You turn on the music, and the point of the game is to get all the ping pong balls out of the box.
Oh,
And to
yeah.
see like your great aunt or like your grandma like shaking and moving to get all the ping pong balls out of the box, it is
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious. And nothing is more fun than watching someone like gyrate and dance and zero balls come out of the box. They're like out of breath.
We have made this game before with a tissue box. So you take the tissue box and you wrap it around your waist, and we've put bells in it. So then you're hearing like the bells. I, in fact, still have a bag full of bells just like ready for playing this game. But I totally agree. That's a super fun game.
Yeah, we definitely love that one. And karaoke, charades is always a fun one for us too, because
Yeah.
you're watching someone act something out and everybody's stumped. You're just like,
Yeah.
what? You give some guesses and they're like, no, and they still keep doing the same kind of motion over and over. And then once the time runs out, they tell you what it is they were acting out. And you're like, oh my gosh, we would never have guessed it. Maybe you should have done this. And so we have so many like video clips recording family members acting things out, and we watch it back and
The
it's
memory lives on.
exactly. Are
My
there any Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say my kids, similar to that, like, you don't something you don't need to buy. They just like to have a dance off. So they play a favorite song. Everybody has to sit and watch them dance, and then we kind of judge their performance. And this could go on for hours. And they're the right ages for this. So my oldest is 11, and she already loves to dance and perform. So she's down for this activity still, which I think there's probably soon she won't be, but
Right.
and then everybody else is younger than 11, so 4 kids younger than 11. All they wanna do is have everyone look at them while they sing their favorite song, and it's so cute. Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. That is so
Yeah.
true. A dance off is always a good time, brings the laughs and creates
Mhm.
those memories too. And I'm very much a person who likes to capture a lot of things, whether it be video or photos, just because growing up as a military brat and not being, close to like extended family, we always had the camcorder out for everything.
Yeah.
So it's just something instilled in me from being little to even now with smartphones. So definitely, if you can record all those and then you have those as memories for later on, I love that. I was going to ask you, is there a tradition that you plan on starting brand new this year? Something that you might be throwing into the mix?
Yeah, so we are this is kind of new, kind of old, but before we had kids, my husband's family always went to a soup kitchen the day before Christmas Eve. And that was like, there's a huge family. So they were like the people staffing it. And then as we had kids and they were just felt too long, or sorry, they felt too and kind of unhelpful, it was too long of a period of time. We haven't really been participating, but we are gonna start doing that again this year because it feels like they're all old enough to do something like that. So that's something that we're throwing into the mix this year.
I love that. That's awesome. I think that, again, building that gratitude muscle and having them be the giver and not always the receiver is a big part of what I think most families like to incorporate. And I think that they should as well. And
Yeah,
what is,
to
go
their
ahead.
community. It connects them to their community too.
Yeah,
It's like yeah, I think it's really important and they just love it. So just do it. Yeah.
I love that. And as we kind of wrap up, just finish this sentence for me.
Okay.
Winter break feels most meaningful when my family blank.
Is together.
I like
Yeah.
that. That togetherness is huge.
Yeah, it's and they usually are together, but I think playing games and doing puzzles and just being in the same room, we're often running in different directions during the school year because they've got, everybody's in activities. And this is a time of year where everyone honors the fact that we're supposed to be home and with our families. And it doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to go places. The kids just crave that attention that we're
Mhm.
not able to, give to them day to day always. So it always feels very warm and Christmassy when we're all together.
Yeah, I love that, and nothing highlighted that more for me than when we had COVID going around and you
Yes.
couldn't get everyone together, and then I mean, I've always appreciated being able to be with my family for the holidays, but that just magnified the importance of connection and the togetherness as well, so I think that I would agree with that. Togetherness is something that can make that winter break feel most meaningful. I love it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for joining me today, Hannah. I really appreciate it. And I hope that some people learned some new games. Swoop, I'm going to look up for sure.
super fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I love it. Just remember as you head into winter break, your kids want you, not the perfection, right? They want simple activities that could become big traditions. Remember that laughter, it beats logistics every single time. And the best memories are usually the ones that are unplanned. So if you're putting a lot of stress on yourself to make everything so miserable, maybe just take a couple things off your plate, live in the moment, be present, maybe immerse yourself into your kids' world, and that can create the memory because winter break doesn't have to be expensive. It does not have to be picture perfect, and it doesn't have to be filled with a bunch of schedules and itineraries. And if you decorate the tree, listen to Motown like me and my family do, play swoop like Hannah and her family, ride around looking at holiday light or, picking up the pieces from the failed gingerbread house, just know that you can laugh through all of it because you nailed it. You created the memory. Thank you so much for tuning in this week for Tuesday Talks. Be sure to share this episode with another parent, family member who might need some winter break inspiration. Tag me in your family activity photos at Dr. Tiffany SLP because I would really love to see your traditions in action. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms. And until next time, be sure to keep the joy, keep the laughter, and keep making the memories that feel good. I'll see you next week. Bye. Be sure to share this episode and join me next week for a brand new Tuesday Talks. See ya.